personally, again, it's going back to that inner talk, like, man, I'm better than a lot of these dudes, and it kind of like rank the kids, and in my mind the whole time, it's like, it hurt my pride. It was like an ego hit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just vowed to myself, like, no matter what, this is time for you to lock in.
Better late than never, better late than never, forever hard to measure. I might see my future fall away, but you control time, so my future do what you say.
Well, Vidal, man, so good to be able to chop it up with you, bro. How you been? Just before we dive into nuts and bolts, man, how's your 2025 been so far, bro?
Man, Q, thanks for having me first and foremost, bro. 2025 has been on the up and up, man. I feel good, you know. It's crazy we already in January 29th, but the energy for me for 2025 was just up for sure. Feel like energetic, energized, ready to go. You know what I mean? So I'm feeling good, bro. I appreciate you asking, man. How about yourself? You looking good, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
man. Trying to get a rhythm in terms of nutrition and fitness, man. I'm excited to dive into you. That's really been my focus. I'll tell you a little bit later on about like kind of some burnout, but my 2025 is just laying a foundation for a healthy lifestyle, bro. So that's how it's been so far, man.
Yeah, no better time, bro. No better time, man.
100%. Well, Vidal, I wanted to start this conversation. I know offline I kind of planted the seeds for, the why behind this. So my background has been workforce development. And a lot of the folks that I work with, I'm building large scale systems and programming for. And for like most of it is community-based orgs, and some of it is actual city institutions. And so what I find that is I'm doing workforce development and career coaching for youth that are in the hood. The goal is so that they can be gainfully employed to get the skills to enter the workforce. But a lot of the folks that I serve, there's so many other barriers, whether it's food insecurity, housing insecurity, barriers such as like mental health, honestly, like generational trauma that they inherit. But a common barrier that we don't talk about often for whatever reason is wellness, food, nutrition, and lifestyle wellness, man. So that's one of the reasons what I wanted to talk to you about. Before we get there, bro, a weird question I want to start off with is who is Vidal, man? Introduce yourself. Who is Vidal? Tell us a little bit about you, bro.
No doubt, bro. Who is Vidal? I would say first and foremost, man, in this point in my life, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a brother. I think that I'm all of those things, all encompassing as a man. I also still feel like a kid at times, right? So there's like this duality that I've been, I won't say battling, just embracing, as I continue to grow, man. I mean, I'm 37 years old now, so I'm feeling like I'm in that weird space of being up, but being, still feeling young. So that's really it, man. I'm a brother, like I said, a son, husband, father, all of those things in one. And then I would say that's the tree. And then branches, there's a bunch of branches that spring off from that.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. That's very poetic. And I would add to that, man, I see you also as a thought leader when it comes to wellness, fitness, nutrition, man. And I love how you illustrated the kind of that tension, man, where, it's a sense of optimism of embracing, like, you being a husband, a father, a leader, a brother, all these different things. But simultaneously, it's tension. Me and you cross paths. We play ball together at JMU, right. Go Dukes. Tell me, let's start there a little bit, bro. Like, tell me a little bit about like, your life prior to going to school at James Madison. What kind of led you there, and just maybe an overall like impact that experience might have had on your life, bro.
It was good, family. God has called me to help people to align and maximize their calling with their purpose. And one of the ways that I do that is through writing. My first book is called Purpose Driven Work, which focuses on helping people to get unstuck in their dreams, callings, and their careers. My second book is Purpose Driven Coaching, which really focuses on helping educators, leaders, and workforce development professionals to use coaching to make an impact on individuals' lives. And then lastly, my most recent book is called On Purpose Leadership, which I wrote with my homeboy Vidal Lee, which focuses on cultivating leadership for teams and organizations. You guys can purchase any one of my books on Amazon. Y'all be blessed out here, man.
No doubt, bro. So for me, man, 757 kid. My father is retired Navy. So originally, I actually was born in San Diego. Both of my parents are from Northeast Ohio, Akron, Ohio. So I lived in Akron for a little bit of my childhood, moved here to Virginia Beach, and like right after elementary school. So it was like a transition from elementary to middle school. And I played football my whole life. So Ohio football, tackle football from the jump, man, like 6-year-old running around out there, smacking into each other. But that was always just, my hobby. Like I said, then we transitioned here, and it was flag for a couple of years, but it was weird to me because we never played flag, right? So I had to figure out how to, transition again amongst
how to not bust somebody's head open. Is that that's
what that was all I was trying to do, really. You know what I mean? Like I'm just looking around, like, man, let me just run into somebody, if anything. But yeah, man, we came here, and I really say like I established my roots here. Going through that adolescence and just coming up in the beach. And really being, just embracing it. You know what I mean? It was something new and different. And I was a kid, right? So made friends easily, went up through the ranks and through middle school, through high school, still playing football. And, as you know, Q, like Tidewater football is just different, right? Like Tidewater sports in general, but football is a big thing. I like to argue with some of my buddies from Texas and Georgia and California and say, we rival, we have a hotbed here too. So that started to shape my vision and my focus, and it became a real thing as I was in high school, and I realized like, oh, okay, college, football, this is kind of like a ticket for me. So from there, man, obviously just being here in Tidewater and having some buddies that went off to JMU, and Virginia Tech was like the pinnacle when we were growing up. Obviously, you got Michael Vick, and so Virginia Tech football was the pinnacle. So in my mind, I was always like, man, I'm going to Virginia Tech. So ended up fast forward, get to high school, and I wasn't as good as I thought I was. That didn't come until like till after I stopped playing football, right? It's like levels always. And it came in waves. So long story short, man, after my senior year, I didn't have I always knew I wanted to go D1 though, right? And I had a few offers here, and I wasn't really, and I also wanted to leave home. So, and leave home, meaning like, I love Norfolk State. My older sister went to Norfolk State. Hampton was here too, but I wanted to, kind of get up out of here. So I went to Fork Union for a year. Did that. Was able to transition to JMU because at the time, a few of my friends, like I said, I had a friend from high school that was there already playing football, and Kirby, one of our teammates, he was my teammate at Fork Union as well, so he had got on with JMU early. So it ended up working out, man. I didn't, in my mind again, still thinking I'm better than I was. I'm like, man, I'm trying to go to Tech. What's up? You know what I mean? But divinity, man, the universe brought me to JMU, and that the rest was history, bro.
Man, that's dope. It's crazy, but I didn't realize how many commonalities you and I had. One, we kind of twins from afar. We literally have the same birthday.
Come on, that's right.
And what time of the day were you born? I'm curious.
5 a.m. I was born at like around 5:30ish in the morning.
So you older than me. I was born around noon, midday. So you're older than me. So we had that commonality. And then you also mentioned your pops serving in the Navy.
That's right.
Like my dad he retired I guess about 10 years ago, but he served 20 years in the Navy as well. And then obviously we both played ball in 7-5.
Yeah.
Just hearing a little bit about your story, it sounds like a couple things kind of really framed you, like molded you, I should say. Like, you know, you being exposed to, like, we come from a hotbed of talent. So like in the brains, it's like, all right, like D1, I'm going D1 as well, right? I had the same mindset, you know, and then I'm assuming like just growing up in a family structure where like I know my dad and my mom, they were career people. So for me, like even though I wasn't a strong student and I really wasn't a great athlete, like I just had an expectation baked into me, like, bro, you got to go to college, you got to go and do something.
That's
so
right.
I just call that out as like those are kind of seems like very pertinent things that gave you exposure. Tell me a little bit about like your time at JMU. So for me personally, you know, it was really it was a very humbling time for me in my life. Like it was a hinge moment. Like I was kicked off the football team, and it was upon looking back at that experience, like never again will I have a sense of entitlement or let people outwork me. And so that's how my experience at JMU kind of molded me. But for you, tell a little bit about like, because you kind of talked about in hindsight, you might have had that mindset of like, I wasn't as talented as I thought I was. But I just also want to add too, like one of the things I realized about you early on, because we had the same weightlifting group. I was like, dude right here, first off, he kind of got like, he got some attitude, like, and I say that in a good way. Like he kind of like, you mess around, he gonna thump your head a little bit. So that's the thing. But then you were strong as an ox. I mean, like I was 6'5", about 270 playing ball. But like you were, you know, a defensive back, right? So I'm like probably 75 pounds heavier than you. So tell me a little bit about just like, well, one, I'm just calling this out, like you was stronger or strong ass or stronger than myself because we're in the same group. But then that mindset of just kind of being hungry is things that I noticed about you. But zooming out, tell me a little bit about your experience at JMU playing ball and kind of how that has translated to you where you are now in life.
For sure, bro. So it's funny you say that, man. I appreciate that, man. I always prided myself on just kind of figuring out a way to stand out. You know what I mean? I wasn't, like I said, in my mind, of course, and I think I suffer from this a little bit.
It was good, family. Better Late Than Never is more than just an album. It's a concept that it's never too late for us to change our mindsets and our lifestyles. This project was exclusively produced by my homeboy, Matlock, who has produced for some of the best artists in the world, including Lil Wayne. You guys can catch this project and stream it on all platforms, including Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, you name it, it's there. As you guys tune in to Better Late Than Never, it's my prayer that this project helps you to live a purpose-driven life. Be blessed.
And I have conversations with myself, but in my mind, it's like this big, and this is not like outwardly or to other people, it's just me. Like in my mind, I can do anything, right? I'm greater than I am until I get there. You understand what I'm saying? So I've always had that attitude. However, so let me backtrack, right? A lot of people don't know, I actually walked on at JMU. And the year before, it's crazy how this happened, man. In high school, Coach West was at JMU, right? I don't know if you remember Chip West. He was the DB coach there.
He recruited me,
Okay, so there you go. Yep, he was Tidewater recruiter. So he recruited me out of high school. And like I mentioned, I had a few lower level offers, and back then with FCS, you could get like a partial scholarship, right? So they were talking about a partial scholarship. This is when I was still in high school, and I'm like, again, in my mind, like, nah, man, I'm going, you know, it was all Hokies, man. And I'm like, partial, what you mean partial? Like, I need, you know what I mean? So this is how crazy, this is why I say it's divine, right? I learned this early. Boom, I skipped that. I'm going to Fork Union. I go to Fork Union, and I'm still also I didn't touch on this. I'm still in my mind. I played running back, so I played a little bit of defense, but I'm like, man, I gotta play running back. I want to score a touchdown, right? So I started off there, but when you see like these guys at Fork Union, like these running backs these are real running backs, bro. These aren't just, you know what I'm saying? You can't just get by with being the best guy on your team. These are actual real running backs, college, and it was a difference. So fast forward, man, I again end up like having a couple things that fall through. Jamie was there again, and this is where the humbleness came. Like I feel like you always had these pivot points in your life, right? And I was reflecting. I'm like, how did I get back to this point? I came to Fork Union to, you know, kind of ball out, get a scholarship, obviously take care of my boards and stuff. And now I'm back in the same place. Like, how did I get here? What happened? What am I doing? Right. So I had a few other options, and I said, man, listen, I'm gonna go ahead. Like I told you, JMU really it was close enough to be home, but far enough away. I was familiar with it, so I decided. I'm like, all right, I'm here. You know, let me take advantage of this opportunity. Let me figure out what this means for myself as a kid going into a man. Like, obviously, I got to reshift some things in my mind. So I walked on, and I was still slightly reluctant. I was grateful for the opportunity, but I was still slightly like, you know, kicking myself because I had a similar opportunity before, right? And I'm right back at here. So that was like the first like taste of humble pie. But in doing so, I realized that it really pretty much reset the foundation for the rest of my life, because I had to be humble, right? And this is no knock to any of the guys in my class that I came with, but I also knew, like, personally, again, it's going back to that inner talk, like, man, I'm better than a lot of these dudes. And you know how it is when you come in with like the freshman class, they got like, they kind of like rank the kids, and you know, this one is talked about, or this one was this many start, right? And in my mind the whole time, it's like, you know, it hurt my pride. It was like an ego hit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just bowed to myself, like, no matter what, this is time for you to lock in. Obviously, you got to work on some things, right? This is me talking to myself. It's like, you got to lock in and really put blinders on and just go to work, no matter what. You got to go to work. And what I realized too, Q, was that I had to find a way to separate myself. That's it. So it was almost like those two voices that we have, like the one that, you know, gets you through those things, and the one that's like, it's like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? That one voice is like, man, you're the best. You could do this. Like, you should be here. And the other one is trying to like talk the sense into you, right? So it was a constant battle between the two, but I'm grateful for both, because I figured out how to listen to one or block this one out. And going in, I knew, like, no matter what, this is your last chance, bro. You got to make this work. You got to go in here and just separate yourself, and you know, figure out how you can stick out and do what you want to do and do what you need to do. So that's how I came in there, man. Just like almost like a chip on my shoulder, but still that taste of humble pie.
On average, it takes Americans 11 months to change careers. What we found at Lenore Coaching is it takes our clients about 6 months to change careers. Even more so, the first 60 days is where we've seen our clients land interviews and job offers. It's not because we have a magic wand, it's just because we have a comprehensive and concise career transition program. The 3 biggest reasons that we've seen folks struggle to change careers is because they don't actually know what they want, they don't know how to articulate their value to an organization, or they don't have an effective job search strategy. I suggest you try our 60-day career change course. I guarantee you that you will produce results in the job search process. Be blessed. Better late than never, forever hard to measure. I might see my future fall away, but you control time, so my future do what you say.